Welcome to the Revere City Council, and I would like everybody to please rise and join me in saluting the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of the members.
Madam Clerk, roll call.
Roll call of the members. Councilor Rigo is absent. Councilor Correggio.
Here.
Here. Councilor Gino. Here. Here. Councilor Guanasso.
Here.
Here. Councilor Haas.
Here.
Here. Councilor Patch.
Here.
Here. Councilor Penta.
Here.
Here. Councilor Powers.
Here.
Here. Councilor Reardon.
Here.
Here. Councilor Zambuto.
Here.
Here. And Council President Novoselsky.
Here.
Here. Quorum is present. Approval of the journals of the meetings of May 13th and May 20th.
Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing or seeing none, all in favor, all opposed, vote so ordered. Number one, we're going to go to number 2 first. Yep, suspension of rules, all in favor, all opposed, vote so ordered.
Calendar item number 2, the Revere Community Scholarship Presentation.
Madam Kay, the leader of the pack.
Is this on?
It's on.
Put it on.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Are we all here? More people are coming.
Is the committee here? Paul's supposed to be here.
Come up.
That's it. That's a limit.
We all assembled? Okay. Up and running. The 13th consecutive year. My name is Catherine Romano, and I am the retired Wayland School principal. Since I know the importance and the value of education, I am volunteering my time to chair the City of Revere Community Scholarship Program. First of all, I must thank all the people who have contributed and are continuing to contribute. Because of their contributions, the award this year has been increased to $4,500. Secondly, I must thank all the committee members for volunteering their time and effort to this very important cause. The committee members are Dr. Paul Dakin, Superintendent of Schools, as mandated by the law, George Anzoni, the Chief Financial Officer, Councilor John F. Powers, Carol Ty, and she's here I know, is the retired Superintendent of Schools, and Dr. Gennaro Cataldo, right here, and Mayor Dan Rizzo. Although there are 351 cities and towns in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, not every city or town has a community scholarship program. So how did this program, which to me seems to be a rising star for the City of Revere, how did this program become established in the City of Revere? Councilor John Powers, a member of the committee, who's been on the committee since it started, will provide some additional insight.
Thank you, Catherine. And at the outset, I just want to acknowledge the fact that this woman standing beside me, Catherine Romano, she is the nuts and bolts of this organization. She works diligently month after month, compiling the statistics which bring us to a point where we will award a scholarship. This first came about through the acts of 1994, through the Massachusetts legislature, which established the law that provided for these type of funds. Back then, Councilor George Colella filed a motion to establish a committee in the City of Revere for that purpose, and I believe Mayor Bob Haas at the time was instrumental in signing that, which made it an ordinance in the city. Back in 2000, when I first got elected to the City Council, I happened to be attending the graduation over at the high school, and Councilor Colella and myself noted that there was no Revere Community Scholarship being given out on that particular night. Subsequently, we joined together and filed a motion to reestablish the committee. We found out, I believe there was, approximately $13,000 at that time in a fund that was just lying there dormant. So as a result, we formed the committee, and in 2001, our first scholarship was given out, and that was in the amount of $7,500. We raised money in the ensuing year, and another $7,500, I believe, the second year was given out. And to date, we have given out $48,500 over a 13-year period, and there were approximately 216 applications that were submitted to us, and we look over the applications, and the criteria is academic standing in the class, and also the family unmet need, and we put that all together, and as a result of that, tonight we're going to award a scholarship once again for $4,500 to Brianna Almonte. This young lady is going to be glad. Brianna will be going to school up in Vermont, and I believe you'll be studying biology, is that correct? And that's a school up there that is very much involved in working on environmental matters. So I want to congratulate you, Brianna, for that. I want to thank the members of the committee, and once again, particularly Catherine Romano, who does a great job. I don't think that we would have gotten as far as we have without Catherine Romano. So let's give her a nice big hand.
It was a lot of work.
It was.
I'm talking for myself. It was a lot of work.
With that said, I'll turn this back to Catherine.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilor Powers. And now, Brianna Almonte, maybe you can tell us what your plans are for the future?
First off, I just want to say thank you. I'm really honored to receive this award. It helps me tremendously with the aspect of money and stress due to my economic background. My plan is to attend Green Mountain College in Vermont, where I will be studying biology, where I hope to pursue in either the medical field or get my master's in biology. Again, thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
That's a lot. And now, we want the greetings of the city, I'm sure, from Mayor Dan Rizzo.
Brianna, come back here. You left us all at the altar here, Brianna. What are you doing? Okay, so Kay, first of all, to Kay and the committee, another great job. And I see a lot of members of the Revere School Department out there. I see Dr. Dake, and I see principals from several different schools here, teachers. And I just want to say how proud I am, first of all, of our overall school department and school system. We have a tremendous school system here, and I don't think that I get a chance to say that enough. We really have a tremendous school system, and we've got kids that are here in this council chambers here tonight, not the least of which is Brianna Almonte, who is the recipient of this year's award. I've known the Almonte family for many, many years. They're a terrific family here in the city. I know that they're all very, very proud of you, Brianna, and I know that you're going to go on to do big and great things so that the city of Revere can continue to be proud of you as you go forward in your life, as we are proud of you tonight for receiving this award. So really, on behalf of the entire city, every resident of our community, I want to wish you the very, very best. And we're also proud of you for the great job you've done to put you in a position to win this award. We know that we have picked the right recipient that's going to make us all proud. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So wait
And all the funds have come from people who have contributed. There are no city funds that went toward this. So I want to remind everyone to continue to contribute. What?
Let's line up for a picture.
I'd just like to say one more thing. Anyone who is listening or watching this evening, take the opportunity to make a contribution to the scholarship fund. It's probably one of the most worthy causes you can contribute to, whether it's $5, $10, $1, $50, $100, whatever the case may be, and it'll be money well spent. So once again, I urge all of the citizens of this city and my colleagues to make that contribution, and maybe next year we'll be able to increase the scholarship or maybe even give 2 scholarships. Thank you.
Don't run away. We're going to do a photo op. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be doing another award now, the George V. Colella Award, and I'm going to call on Carol Ty, school committee person, to make the presentation.
Thank you very much. Just a little bit about logistics. We're going to call up the schools, elementary schools first in alphabetical order, so Beachmont will again be first, and then we'll do the 3 middle schools after that. I'd ask the principal and any other staff member that you'd like to bring with you up here, and so that you can talk a little bit about your academic scholar. First, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about the man after whom these Academic Achievement Awards is named, and it's right up here. This is George V. Colella, who was a member of the school committee for 4 years, 25 years on this honorable body of the city council, and 20 years as mayor of the city. He was the president of his class. This is his yearbook, 1945. He and his wife, June, were high school sweethearts. He was the president of the class. She was voted the best personality. I'm not sure which would be more important, but they raised 3 girls, all 3 of whom went to Revere High School, graduated with honors from Revere High School. George was born on Flag Day, so he always had a special kind of patriotism, I think. He knew what community service was, and he did hope that all of you, with your scholastic achievement, would also give service to the community. He himself did much service to the community. For example, there are probably people sitting right here. He certainly educated me on what a municipal budget was. He had his own little municipal library in his home, and when I became superintendent of schools, it was very useful to me. He also was kind of a tough negotiator. Because I was a union officer, we were often on opposite sides. But you know, as tough as he was, he brought out the best in me, and I think that, you think about your teachers. Who were your favorite teachers? The one who made you work your hardest. And your achievement is certainly tantamount here. So, he was also someone who was very forward-thinking. He thought about, after years of almost a half century of our not having any new buildings, in the early 70s, he led the way, yes, we need a new high school. And that was the culmination that you see down there on American Legion Highway now and School Street in between. We probably would be looking for another one soon, but nevertheless, that was the one that he started that he could see. He was forward-thinking, too, because he thought about his legacy, and he thought there are lots of scholarships that occur, at the end when people, as the one that we just awarded. But we should encourage children at your age, those of you who are moving on, those of you who are going from the 5th grade to middle school, those of you who are going from middle school to high school, and you need to know that people appreciate how much you have done, how hard you have worked. He was a man who appreciated hard work, and he left this in his will, that for the people before you and the people after you who are number one in their class will get this achievement. And it certainly is an honor to give it here at the City Council meeting where he sat for so many years. So what I'd like to do is call up the principal or the representative, and we'll start with the Beachmont School. So could we have the Beachmont representative? Anybody there besides Mrs. O'Connor? Would you come forward with your winner? Chloe Giordano. Chloe? Yes. If I may, I just saw if we can have Joni and Jen come forward. Yes, please. These are George's. One daughter lives in Texas, but these are two of George's daughters who were Revere High School graduates, proud children of a proud mother and father. Jen and Joni. And Chloe, would you come forward, please? Come forward. And would you tell us, Mrs. O'Connor, a little bit about Chloe?
All right. Chloe has been with us for a very short time. She transferred to the Beachmont School from the McKinley School. She is the eldest of 5 girls in the family. Her favorite subject is math because she loves the challenge, although it seems that there really isn't any subject or any challenge for Chloe in any subject because she excels in everything. She continues to maintain her straight A average. She is a Beachmont 5th grade peer leader. She is on the school-wide recycling team. She reads with the kindergarten class, and she does a lot of school community activities. She also competed in the Beachmont Math League, and outside of school, Chloe enjoys basketball and softball. It's been a pleasure having Chloe at the Beachmont School for her 5th grade, and we'll also wait because we'll be hearing great achievements that Chloe will make as she continues along her educational path in Revere. Congratulations, Chloe.
And might invite Councilor Patch, who is related to Chloe.
There you go. I didn't know that, Charlie. Come on up. There you go. You're a gift presenting. Come here, Mike, over here.
Congratulations, Chloe.
And Chloe? And with this certificate is also a check for $100. And that is for each recipient of this award. Congratulations.
Chloe, come this way.
We now have from the Garfield, Mrs. Patricia DiGregorio, to come forward with Megan Cohen.
My phone's going on.
And any other staff members or family?
Great job.
Congratulations,
Megan.
Megan.
Congratulations. Great job. Great job.
Good job. Come right up front with me, Megan. Thank you. It is my pleasure to present this award to Megan Cohen. Megan is a hard-working, determined young lady. She has attended the Garfield School since she began there in preschool. So when we do our moving on ceremony, we call her one of our Garfield Gators who has moved up with us right from the beginning. Each teacher she has had throughout the years speaks fondly of her and very highly of her. Throughout the years that she's been with us, Megan has maintained either honor roll or principal's list status every year. In addition, she has been on the advanced scores for her ELA and math in both third grade, fourth grade, and we're anxiously awaiting her fifth grade scores and anticipate being just as proud of them. In her non-academic time, Megan enjoys being a Girl Scout, especially the fun activities that they had, like a recent trip to Cocoa Keys. In the fall, Megan will be attending Rumney Marsh Academy, where she will be enrolled in the pre-AP program there for both math and ELA. Megan aspires to be a dentist when she grows up, and with her determination and hard work and her ethic, I know that she's going to achieve her goal. Congratulations, Megan. Good job. Okay.
They want pictures? They want pictures before we leave? Seth?
What's that? Good job.
Lincoln
Make
School.
another
This way,
count. There
Megan.
you go. Congratulations.
All righty.
You're gonna vote for me someday. Unless she's gonna run against me, I don't know what it is.
I don't think you're going to worry about that.
From the Lincoln School, Principal Jody Genotti,
no kidding.
with Anderson Garcia.
You guys.
See you. There he is again. Didn't I see you earlier? Yeah. All right. Great to have you
Great
up there.
job.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, my friend. Good job.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Okay, we got more
Great.
coming up.
That's wonderful.
Fifth grade teachers.
Come on up.
There's
Come
lots
over
of
here.
joy.
Come on this side. Come on this side.
There's
Spread
lots
it
of
out.
joy to share.
Against the walls. Up against the walls. Don't let 'em fall. There you go. Cool.
The Lincoln School is proud to present this award to Anderson Garcia tonight. Anderson has been a distinguished student at the Lincoln School throughout his educational career. Anderson displays a tremendous amount of commitment and dedication to his work as he has excelled both academically and socially. Anderson is academically gifted and intrinsically motivated. He consistently earns principal's list and strives to learn more every day. Anderson can frequently be found helping his peers with classwork, making his friends smile, or lending a helping hand to his teachers. Anderson is actively involved in the Lincoln community and recently held a role in the Memorial Day play. While Anderson has made many great attributes, what really sets him apart from his peers is his remarkable character. Anderson serves as a role model to other students in the school. He is an ideal recipient of the George Colella Award as he embodies the moral and educational values that we strive for all students at the Lincoln School to attain. Congratulations, Anderson.
Thank you. Congratulations, Anderson. And here is your check for $100. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Wait a minute. They want to take your picture?
Pictures, pictures.
Oops, sorry.
No, once you get to bed. Okay, cool. Okay, guys, hit to my right.
This way, Anderson.
Anderson. This way, Anderson. Go out this way, guys.
Good luck.
McKinley School, Mr. Ed Mosher, with Fabio Tron.
Next.
Well, they're all grade 5.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Fabio and Ms. LaPlante.
There you go.
Fabio has been at the McKinley School since kindergarten, and I know when he came to kindergarten at the McKinley School, he spoke very, very limited English. We were talking today, and one-word answers, extremely limited, because both folks who were born in Vietnam spoke only Vietnamese at home then, and their English has also become much better. Through the years, in speaking to his teachers, he's tremendously talented academically. He's been on the principal's list every trimester or quarter. He's tested advanced, rated advanced in MCAS in both ELA and math every year. In addition to being academically talented, in speaking to his teachers, he's got a tremendous sense of determination. And one that comes to mind was just recently an accomplishment of Fabio. We do a fundraiser at the McKinley School, American Heart Association fundraiser, and children get pledges from family members, and then the amount of jumps the student can do without stopping is the amount of money he or she may raise. Well, last year, Fabio jumped 80 jumps in 1 minute, about 80.
Oh.
Well, he worked with his sister, who's a year older than him, and this year he did 285 jumps in 3 minutes.
Wow.
That's determination.
Wow.
That's determination. He's looking forward to visiting Vietnam this summer to see his grandparents. He's also looking forward to attend Susan B. Anthony in the fall. He's an exceptional young man. His parents are extremely proud of him, and every member of the McKinley community expects nothing but great things from him in the future. Congratulations, Fabio.
Congratulations, Fabio. And here is your certificate, and here is your check for $100.
Thank you.
There you go. Good job.
Wait a minute.
Picture? Photo op. Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Mayor.
Get in close. Get in close. There you go. Okay, good job.
Good job.
Come on to my right. Not this one.
Wayland School, Paul Revere, sorry, Paul Revere. I saw Mrs. Kelly. You might not recognize, but Mrs. Kelly is the sister of Ward 1 Councilor Richard Penta. And she brings us Mariana Jaramillo.
Over here, guys.
Wonderful to see all the support, all the teacher support. It's great.
This is Mariana, and I am so proud of Mariana. In grade 3, she scored an advanced in English, a 270, and a 280 in math in grade 3. In grade 4, she scored another 270 in English and another 280 in math. So we're waiting this year for 5th grade results for another perfect score, and she wants that English so bad. Right, Mariana? Mariana is also a wonderful violinist. We started violins this year at Paul Revere. She is our lead violinist. So we want her to continue lessons next year because she is so good. She also helps mentor the younger children with fluency. She started that with fluency centers to help the younger children with their English. Mariana is also a soloist in our glee club. And I wanted her to do it tonight. I asked her just for one line, huh, Mariana? Just sing one line. She's at graduation doing the soloist a cappella, and I'm so proud. Want to do it? No? Oh, okay. She has a voice like an angel, and I mean like an angel. So maybe if you're around at graduation and you want to come hear her, we'll have it taped. Mariana also won a scholarship this summer to Northeastern for the STEM program. She wants to be an engineer, and she got accepted by her letter of what she wrote about herself for a scholarship to go 2 weeks this summer to Northeastern University for engineering in the STEM program. We're very proud of her. Mariana, with the school award in community award, she came to me last week and asked if she could start a community outreach for the animal shelter at Salem. And she raised 3 huge boxes of toys, food for cats and dogs, and no salmon. I don't know why it was said no salmon, Mrs. Kelly. So she created this community outreach service and presented those boxes and brought them to Salem with her mother, and they drove them there. So Mariana is a student that is well-deserved of this award. All her grades this year have been A+, all the way through from Paul Revere. It's outstanding. She's a wonderful student. Just a little? Just a little. No?
Want to sing while you get this?
Want to sing while you get it?
Go ahead. This is your certificate, and this will help you when you're down there in the summer. Spend that money.
Dan, come here with all your teachers.
Photo op.
Come here with all your teachers. Mrs. Slott, Mrs. Zabel
Okay,
can
come
sing
on
it
to
with
my
you.
right. Come out
We're going to go this way?
Yeah,
Okay.
the other councils.
I said
And
you
the
can
Wayland
sing.
School,
Good job, good job, good
Thank you,
job.
thank you, Autumn. Nice to see you.
Miss Jamie Flynn with Kobe Everton. And Couple of other Revere High School grads, Janice and Lucille here.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Kobe.
Thank you.
Come on over, guys.
I'm going to ask you to...
Put everybody up.
The Wayland School team nominated Kobe Everton as the student for the George V. Colella Academic Achievement Award. Kobe is a well-rounded student who has high academic standards for himself and who is also respectful, thoughtful, and a compassionate young man. Not only has Kobe earned principal's list every trimester since third grade, but he has also earned a 280 in grade 3 math MCAS, as well as a 280 in grade 4 ELA MCAS. Kobe's always willing to help out wherever he can, from volunteering for kindergarten orientation, touring guests throughout the building, and PTA events. He takes an active role in the school as a member of the student council. Last year he was the treasurer. This year he is the classroom rep for Ms. Halloran's class. Outside of school, Kobe takes acting classes on Saturdays from Boston Casting. He's very creative. He loves to make all types of crafts, such as puppets and jewelry and dream catchers. He loves to write and draw, and he's actually in the process of making his own portfolio from his drawings. Kobe is a role model among his peers and respected by all of the staff at the Wayland School. Congratulations, Kobe.
Here is your certificate. Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
here is your check for $100.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Teachers.
Don't block anybody. Cool. Okay, go out to my right, please. See the other counselors. Congratulations.
From the Garfield Middle School, principal, from the Garfield Middle School, Principal Danielle Macaba Bernardo with John Axiotakis.
Yep, it is.
And anyone accompanying John.
There we go.
Well, you look like a number one winner.
Stand right up. Stand right up.
Right up there. Thank you.
The Garfield Award winner is John Axiotakis. John's academic record is an impressive one. Over the course of the last 3 years, John excelled in all of his classes, earning him this well-deserved recognition. This year, John was named president of the Aspirers. Over the course of the last year, John was able to display true leadership. One of my most memorable moments was observing John lead the 5th grade tours. He and his partner led with compassion and were full of information and were fully able to put nervous 5th graders at ease. John shows us daily that he is ready to learn and ready for any challenge we can throw at him. John keeps the staff at the Garfield on our toes. And I myself have learned many interesting things from John in our conversations. The Garfield staff and I look forward to watching John's continued success as he makes his way through Revere High School.
We're going to take a picture before you go.
All right.
Okay. Cool. Okay, head out to my right.
Congratulations to
Nice job. Thank you. Thank you.
you. Romney Marsh Academy, please. Ms. Rosamundo. With Gianni Hill. And anyone who is with Gianni.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Big guy.
Johnny Hill has been a student of mine as an assistant principal at Romney Marsh for the past 3 years, and I must say he's been an asset to our school. I feel honored this evening in recognizing this young man for his academic excellence and achievement. He has been nominated for this award because of his academic scholarship, which has ranked him first in his class. Gianni was most recently inducted as an Aspirer due to his academic achievement and community service. He has made the principal's list every term, every year for the past 3 years at Rumney Marsh Academy. This young man is a model student in academics, character, and leadership. We are fortunate to have a student of his caliber in our schools, and I'm proud to say he will be moving on to our very own Revere High School next year. Congratulations.
Picture.
Picture. There you go.
Great job.
Good job, sir. Congratulations. Good job.
And from the Susan B. Anthony, we have Miss Joanne Willett, another of our Revere High School graduates, with Aisha Hang. Aisha. Is that Dad?
This is Aisha.
No, is that her dad?
Skip Devon's her math teacher.
3 years ago, Aisha Hong walked into the Susan B. Anthony Middle School as a reserve 6th grader. As she became more comfortable and confident in her impressive talents, she transformed into a determined, civic-minded student leader. Obviously academic talented, she received perfect scores on her 6th and 7th grade math MCAS. Mr. DeFranzo, who's here with us tonight, her 7th grade math teacher, calls her the strongest math student who has ever walked the halls of SBA. Her other teachers echoed this sentiment, using words such as talented, dedicated, hardworking, and diligent. She is the kind of student every teacher dreams of, motivated, respectful, and always putting her all into everything. It's not just a numbers game with Aisha. She is also very creative, pursuing her passions of piano and art. Ms. Zerboni, her art teacher, reports that she continually produces artwork that is sophisticated and meaningful. This year, Aisha was awarded the Silver Key in the Boston Globe Scholastic Art Contest for her mixed media piece, Times Square. Aisha blends heart with her academic and artistic achievements. As a recent inductee to the SBA Inspirers, she completed more than her required community service hours by taking part in charity walks and fundraising drives. She also competed at the State Science Fair with a project she and her partner designed with changing the world in mind. Working with a professor from Northeastern University, the girls designed a scribblebot, a robot, yes, a robot, to help paralyzed students create art. She is kind, loyal to her friends, and truly personifies SBA pride. Congratulations, Aisha.
Everybody get closer?
Oh, picture.
Yeah.
Aisha, that's pretty hard.
Cool. Okay. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
If I may, I'd just like to thank the retired clerk of the City Council, John Henry, for all his guidance in this. He has been a wonderful friend. And thank you to the school committee. It's been thank you to the City Council. It's been a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 5-minute recess because we know that parents have to go home to bed. So, congratulations to all. We'll see you. Okay, we're back in recess, and since we are under suspension already, would like the clerk to take up item number 6.
Calendar item number 6, communication from the superintendent of schools requesting the approval of a TELP contract to purchase iPads.
Mr. Superintendent, you'd like to address the council, please?
Gentlemen, usually when we go out to bid for products, it doesn't involve the vote of the council. But we found, and actually are the first community to take advantage of a new program the state has, that allows leasing of equipment over a 3 or more year period. We're only looking for 3 years, as we usually do. And this project, because of the nature of the grant and the way it works with different agencies in the state, requires a vote of the municipal body. What this grant is going to do is put iPads into the hands of every student at Revere High School next year, and we're going to get 1,700 iPads with this and lease it out over 3 years. 100% of the money will be school department money each year. It's planned and it's in the budget. We usually do these kind of things with just the vote of the school committee, but this particular bond involves the vote of the council. So I would ask you to move on this as soon as possible. To get the 1,700 units, we have to procure them and get them all loaded with the material on it for the students for next year, so that we can hand these out in the third week of August.
Madam Vice President?
Thank you. I'm really excited to see this communication in here because I think that this is really great to get our students ahead of the game. When they're entering college situations or work situations, they're going to be faced with the need for this technology, and to give them to them when they're in high school and put this in their hands, I think is really going to give them the upper hand versus any competition. And I really think that this is a great, great step. So I really commend you on this effort. Thank you.
Councilor Correggio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be very brief. Doctor, this is a win-win situation for the students of Revere. We want to make sure they're upgraded with the latest technology, and hopefully we can keep the quality of education going in the school system. Thank you very much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen of the council, roll call, please.
That the City Council move to authorize the TELP contract between the City of Revere and Apple Computer to allow the school department to enter into a 3-year lease agreement to purchase iPads. Councilor Rigo is absent. Councilor Correggio?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Janino?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Haas?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Patch?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Penta?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Reardon?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Zambuto?
Absent.
Absent. And Council President Novoselsky?
Yes.
Yes, the TELP agreement has been approved.
Mr. Mayor, do you have anything special you need taken up quickly?
Mr. President, thank you very much for asking. We do have some late communications along with the budget that you'll see before you. I also had prepared a letter that most of you probably have, though may not have had a chance to read it yet. I'd be happy to kind of run through it with you. I don't expect that you would have the time, nor, quite honestly, am I prepared to run through the entire budget with you right now, but I could give you some highlights as to, you know, what is there. And there's also a couple other late communications that we're here for as well. So,
thank you. I just want to know if there was anything that was really, really important that you had to bring up that you had to go somewhere.
no, I can sit through the motions and then
Okay.
talk about it after when you get
Okay,
into
cool.
late communications if you want.
Sounds good. Thank
Okay.
you. With that, we're going to bring up, go back to regular order of business. All in favor, all opposed, voting so ordered. Item number 1, please.
Calendar item number 1, Representative Kathy Ann Reinstein will address the City Council relative to the fiscal year 2014 budget.
Hi.
Madam Representative, good evening. Welcome to our Honorable City Council.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and through you to the members of the council. Thank you so much for having me today. I know you, Senator Petroselli was here about a month ago to discuss budget priorities and what the Senate had done, and I'm here to deliver that on behalf of the House between myself and the Speaker. So Massachusetts fiscal year 2014 budget, obviously we've passed 2 separate versions of a plan. They're about $34 billion plans, and right now the differences are still being negotiated. So they're still in the process right now with conference committee that was just named. We hope to have it, obviously a new budget it will hopefully be due by July 1st, hopefully by the last week in June we will be voting up or down to accept what the final budget is. So I want to just touch on what the House has secured at this point, and then touch on a bunch of other things that we've been busy on. So just so you know, in April, the House passed their F-14 budget. It was $33.8 billion. There were over 900 amendments considered in the 3 days that we debated. The budget does include $500 million in new revenue, and it does not include an increase in the income tax. It targets a lot of investments in local aid and education, higher ed specifically. And there's a lot of reform in our budget as well, which increases government accountability and oversight across the Commonwealth. And it also ensures that $1 billion will remain in the state's rainy day fund. So on higher education, we had $25 million targeted in revenue associated with the gaming bill that we passed that was signed into law in 2011. Community colleges are a priority, and the speaker actually came up with something called the STEM Academy, which is a big priority for him. Some of the things like Dr. Dakin was just talking about, that there's this STEM money and about, being able to leverage money to buy iPads. That's a big thing right now that we're concentrating on our level 2. I'm actually the co-chair of the High Tech Caucus that is looking at a lot of this stuff in STEM education. We're partnering with business leaders from Google and Oracle and Microsoft that do business in Massachusetts to how we could advance this not only education-wise, but to create this whole new part of our economy and create more jobs for people, especially in this area. Early education is also another priority. We looked at reforming a lot of the agencies that foster safe educational environments for our youngest citizens. There's a special commission that was established for greater affordable equality in early education and services and how we address the costs of those services. There was actually an auditor's inquiry into the lack of compliance oversight for health and safety of children. And we put a compliance manager in the Department of Early Ed. The FY14 budget also talks about helping and assisting our most vulnerable residents across the Commonwealth. More money in the Department of Developmental Services for family support in the Turning 22 program, which I know the Revere League for Special Needs has always been very involved in. Homeless shelters receiving sufficient funding, entering into 12-month contracts. Families in need of shelter, emergency situations, how we can better account for those. When we approach the budget process in our office, what we do is we reach out to Mayor Rizzo and we reach out to the 2 other communities that I also represent, all of our fire chiefs, our police chiefs, and our superintendent of schools, and all of our nonprofits, places like Chelsea Revere Winthrop Home Care and Roca and Capic, and find out what it is, our priorities for them. Like Harbor Cove, what are the priorities? Because those services from these nonprofits really affect the livelihood and well-being of a lot of our residents. So we approach it that way, saying, what are your priorities? How can we be advocates for you? We're also looking on reforming health and human services, on public safety. We actually contributed, we decided to do $100,000 in line of duty deaths for Sean Collier, who unfortunately was killed during the Boston Marathon attack, so to give his family a $100,000 line of duty death. We gave money to the Office of Travel and Tourism to remind travelers worldwide why it's so great to come to Boston. That also increases our tax revenue. One part of that we like to do is advocate for things along our beach. Locally, Chapter 70 school funding. We increased our commitment to our cities and towns. For the Chapter 70, Revere will receive close to $48 million. Last year, they received $46,214,315. It hasn't been reconciled yet, but both the House and Senate are around $48 million. So it will be an increase in education funding for students in Revere. Unrestricted local government aid, which is huge. The past couple of years, we've made our municipalities a priority. So it's a $21.3 million increase for cities and towns. It's a 2.3% boost. So the total statewide is going to be $920.2 million. Revere is going to see a $200,000 increase in that. Chapter 90 transportation funding, which is a huge deal. We've done $200 million in Chapter 90 funding, and this year we passed $300 million. And we actually, this includes $10 million from the transportation bond bill for the Route 1 Transportation Improvement Program. This is something we worked with the mayor's office on when we were doing the bond bill, looking at the priorities of what we needed, not only in Revere, but along the North Shore that will benefit all of us together. So we were able to secure some great things. I know there's frustration that Governor Patrick only released half of his funding. They're waiting to see what happens with the transportation finance package. It was widely reported that there were pretty serious differences between the House and Senate as it came to raising revenue. The House raised considerably less taxes than the Senate did. So again, that's a conference committee that's trying to work out their differences. So there's no final numbers yet until that's reconciled. Some of the specific things that I did in the budget, and I worked with Speaker DeLeo on, the local share of racing taxes. The mayor was very instrumental with this too. We get $1,150,000 for that. That's a significant amount of money for this city to get, and we have to make sure and fight for that every year that it comes back to the city. The rental voucher program, so this is helping tenants with low incomes to pay their rent, private apartments. We have a lot of people who are in need of housing. It's one of the most calls we get. So this was a real request by people like CAPIC and MBHP. Residential assistance for families in transition, we were able to secure over $8 million for that. The extended learning time grants, which is really significant to our school system, and actually a lot of the teachers were talking with us tonight about, we're trying to invest another $4.9 million, the House did. All of this that I'm talking about right now has not been reconciled yet, but these are some of the priorities that we put forth. SAFE, which is Student Awareness of Fire Education, which has always been a priority. We worked with Chief Doherty and the Revere Fire Department on that to get $1.2 million. I don't know if that was in the Senate side or not, but we're working to get that. An elder nutrition program, Meals on Wheels. This is really significant to a lot of our senior residents. So again, this is a program that's been in existence for decades, and we allocated over $6 million for that. Elder protective services. This is something we worked with Chelsea Revere Winthrop Hope Care on. It's protective services that investigates abuses for seniors. Domestic violence, treatment, prevention, sexual assault prevention. This is something we've worked with Bay Cove and Jane Doe. Over $6 million for that. Again, support services for people at risk of domestic violence, over $23 million statewide. Safe and Successful Youth Initiative was $10 million. And this goes through the Health and Human Services, and it makes funding available for municipalities with a higher number of youth homicides and serious assaults. And unfortunately, the communities in my district qualify for that. So these are huge grants available for intervention services to reduce the violence, youth violence in our municipalities. Youth at risk, this was something Revere Cares was very passionate about. Critical youth violence prevention programs with the Boys and Girls Clubs, the YMCA, and other organizations. So we worked with them on that. Teenage pregnancy prevention, we always work with that. Family intervention services, we worked with the city and Revere Cares and the youth center on that. Outreach, community-based, home-based treatment, for young people ages 12 to 24 and their families that are experiencing any kind of legal, emotional, or personal problems as a result of substance abuse. Clinical stabilization programs, which is a lot to do with detox, with intensive education and counseling regarding addiction, and helps relapses. We know that there's a huge movement and a lot of commitment in this city to help people with addiction services. CAPIC is huge in this community. It's helped a lot of people prevent homelessness and a lot of people with youth activities and youth intervention. We have been working very hard, and we've been able to get, with the leadership of the Speaker, to get some money specifically for CAPIC that services Revere and Chelsea, to keep the programs that we need going. I think you probably would agree with me that I don't think there's any of us who doesn't call them almost every day for assistance, and they are incredible. Bob Rapucci and everyone at CAPIC are just, they are a gift from God, all of them are. Another thing we worked with Mayor Rizzo on and all of you was a disaster aid relief for Hurricane Sandy and Superstorm Nemo. Revere was very lucky that we didn't receive some of the damage like our brothers and sisters in New Jersey did, but we did have damage, and definitely our public safety and DPW expenses were strained. So we worked with that to get assistance for that. Another big thing that I'm sure you get the calls we get is fuel assistance. We were able to get $20 million in state funding to help households that are in need to help with their home heating oil. We worked with Chief Caparelli and the Revere Police Department on municipal police training. This is basically getting funding to train them, in-service training, interactive training. It's interesting when you talk to police and fire, they go to the academy, which thankfully we're always able to do. But with technology evolving and unfortunately terrorism evolving, both our police and fire departments need to be trained and retrained on new things that are coming. So we were able to get some of that for them as well. A couple other priorities of myself and the Speaker that are right in conference committee right now, which is something, I think this line item my father started about 25 years ago, and that's the state police, expanded state police patrols along Revere Beach and curbing gang-related activities. So that's $1 million that we're hoping will make it through the budget process. CAPIC Emergency Services Program, which is helping the people that are in need of housing and to prevent them from becoming homeless. Another big thing we're working on, and I know we've all been working on together, is ethanol and preventing ethanol trains from coming through this area. Just so you know, myself and Representative Flaherty from Chelsea authored a letter that's going to the conference committee, and as of the time I left the State House tonight, we have about 30 co-sponsors on the House and Senate side to adopt the Senate language, which basically prevents the use of ethanol trains coming through this area. Other recent legislation we've worked with the mayor's office on and the school departments on is the new McKinley School legislation. That was signed into law, I believe, on May 30th. We were able to, and I believe now that has to go to the federal government, I think, to finish its final. But because it was a federal land taking, it had to go through the process that started with the home rule from all of you. And I really want to thank the efforts of my office, who were like outstanding. Joan specifically in my office was outstanding, who followed this. A couple other things we're doing too. I mean, there's going to be a dedication on Saturday for Peter McCauley for the plaza that's going to be named after him, that was passed through legislation. There's going to be one coming up in the following weeks for Norman Gautreaux also, who's going to have one dedicated for him as well. We just did the housing bond bill last week. So basically what that does, it's $1.4 billion in investment over the next 5 years for production and preservation of low to moderate income housing. When we deal with low-income housing, a lot of times, there's a lot of wear and tear, and we need to bond the money to make sure that we keep these units open and for the people who need it. So it's about, making sure that we can get these right back online so the people in our communities that need this housing can get it. Turn over dilapidated units, $55 million to facilitate modifications for elderly and disabled, and $45 million for facilities for early education and out-of-school programs, also in that. Another big issue that everyone's reading about is EBT. This is a bipartisan group of legislators that are leading the fight for EBT abuse. Just so you all know, in the winter, Speaker DeLeo appointed me to be on the commission to look at how we can find these differences, how we can, get our technology up to date. And this was a very tough assignment. It was really passionate. It was incredibly heated. It was incredibly time intensive. And it was a commission that had like $100,000 behind it. We had consultants, and we looked at different options that were available. So, I guess I'll start at the end and then go back to the beginning with this. Everyone's been reading about Auditor Bump's audit that just came out. What I find frustrating with this is we have been putting better preventative measures in place and oversight measures in place before this audit was done. So her audit reflects things that were happening before we put a lot of these things in place. So it's frustrating as someone who's a member of the legislature who's voted for these changes, and also someone who has spent a lot of time on this commission as the Speaker's appointee, knowing that we're making these modifications and making these adjustments, that this came out and it kind of is saying things that aren't true right now. So that's been very frustrating. So just so you know, in 2011, we banned the use of EBT cards for such use as tattoo parlors, nail salons, casinos, strip clubs. We did that. In 2012, we expanded the scope of prohibited transactions. You can't buy alcohol. You can't buy lottery tickets. You can't buy firearms. You can't buy tobacco. You can't use it to go to the movies or get into a theater or a sporting event. You can't use it to travel. You can't use it to buy jewelry. You can't use it to join a health club. You can't rent anything, and you can't pay your taxes or your bill with it. That was all in 2012. Also, we banned out-of-state transactions. We made it a crime for someone who knowingly transferred, acquired, altered, or possessed an EBT card or access device in any manner that wasn't authorized by state or federal law. Penalties include fines and jail time based upon the cash value of benefits that are being trafficked. The State Lottery Commission, the Alcohol Beverage Control Commission may suspend or revoke the license of any person who is found to have knowingly violated the statute. So if there's a convenience store that is knowingly taking illegal EBT cards or doing illegal transactions, they will lose their lottery license, or they will lose their alcohol license at these places that are taking these bars and restaurants. This year, what we just did, we go further. We create a system where all EBT cards would require photo IDs. That's in the legislation we passed before her audit came out. Photos on EBT cards would help stem fraud, make sure the state funds go to those people who actually need the funds. We create an eligibility verification task force to make sure the people who are receiving benefits across the government are truly needy of these benefits. This is a permanent and ongoing involvement of government watchdogs. The auditor, the IG, and the Attorney General are going to be part of that task force. Lastly, we establish a Bureau of Program Integrity, and this is a new office that's headed up by an appointee of the Inspector General. It will help develop and oversee regulations to improve the process of determining who is eligible to receive an EBT card. All of these things we did are in conference committee, so they have not been finalized, but this is what the actions the House took in our budget. And, we're still exploring and looking into other ways we can prevent fraud as much as we can. It's tough because no matter how stringent you make any kind of program, we're always going to find someone who's going to abuse the system. And usually what that hurts is the large majority of people who actually need these programs. So we want to be very conscious of that as well. The state audit released May 28th showed $2.4 million paid to more than 1,100 people that were deceased, and $27 million to live recipients. So just so you know, 1,100 people that were deceased, obviously that's not any kind of fraud we want to see. There's over 800,000 people statewide in this program. So we have to also really look at the brevity of all of this as well. I just want to thank all of you for your partnership too, because we're constantly in contact with all of you on different issues. You name it, we're talking about it. And I really want to thank the mayor and his administration too, because we are on the phone several times a day working on different issues. And Superintendent Dakin's been great, and Chief Caffarelli and Chief Doherty are stellar. And it's a great partnership that we have in this community. And I will say it, and I'm not just saying it because I'm here. We have a great reputation on the state level. You know, I hear all the time, oh, I met your mayor, I met your superintendent, I met your chief, and it's always good things, and that speaks volumes, especially when we go and advocate for things here. Yes, we're in great positions, myself and the speaker and Senator Petroselli, but it helps that people know that we're all working hard and we're sincere, and we have the arguments to back up our requests. So I appreciate that as well. I'm available for any questions.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure you do. That's why I have all kinds of folders here.
And at first, I just want to acknowledge, if everybody hasn't noticed, Councilor Arrigo is absent tonight. And I just want to acknowledge that his dad had procedure done today, and all our hearts go out to him, and hopefully he'll be all right after everything works out down there. So we all wish him well, and that's why Councilor Arrigo is not here tonight. But I would ask the councilors to keep their questions to 1 or 2, to short. We still have a long agenda ahead of us. So I would hope that we can keep our questions short, and hopefully the representatives' answers will be short.
I'm just grabbing my
So, Councilor Correggio.
Thank you. I'll be very brief. I know time is of the essence. Representative, thank you for coming before us. I know you guys are working hard up there and trying to do the right thing. Just one question. I've been faced time and time again. Maybe you can offer some assistance. What is the future as far as discount on the tolls on the Mystic Bridge and the tunnel? I remember years ago we used to have a sticker on your car and you used to get a discount. Is there anything in the future as far as discount rates for Revere residents? 'Cause we get so much traffic and everybody's going through the middle of the chopping up the city left and right. Is there any kind of relief in the future for Revere residents?
Thank you for your question, Councilor. So a few things. We have a massive deficit that we're trying to reach transportation-wise across the Commonwealth. Not only is our T in jeopardy, but our regional transit authorities and all of our roads and bridges. Being someone who goes through the bridge and tunnel sometimes several times a day, I understand the expense that is. There is a transponder system, I think anyone who drives it knows, that can get an easy pass and you can get a 50 cents discount. We fought tooth and nail to get that and to retain it. Right now there's been hearings. I believe there's going to be one in Revere. There was one in Chelsea. Is the Revere one when? Is it, I think it's tomorrow night. Right? And it's at the same time, by the way, as the Beaches Commission is coming to Revere. So I'll answer that. The Beaches Commission is coming to Revere tomorrow night to the Satter House. And we'd love to have anyone at home that would like to come down and meet the whole commission and talk about how we can better improve our beaches. That would be great. But I will. And that's right. So the toll hearing is at the Paul Revere tomorrow night at the same time. Thank you, Mr. President. So basically, they're looking to go to an all-electronic system. So everyone's going to have to be in a transponder. I filed, actually, myself and the Speaker have filed legislation year after year after year as far as the discount program for the area. A new thing that we've been filing the last couple of sessions is a radius situation. So if you look at a certain radius, there's different discounts available. So, Revere would be different than Peabody, than, like closer, and how you're more affected. I have pitched this to the Chair of Transportation. We still are working out some transportation things. That didn't fly very well in the original transportation debate, just because they're not looking at discounts right now, unfortunately, because we have millions and millions and millions of dollars plus debt that's incurred over the last few decades because of the Big Dig and other projects. But we keep filing them, and we keep testifying for them, and we keep trying to get them in. But, right now, because of what's the reality of what we have in front of us, that doesn't seem like it would be likely anytime soon.
Thank you, Councilor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Penta.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll stick to what's on the agenda tonight. Just quickly, the budget, 2014 budget. You said the City of Revere is going to be receiving $200,000 over last year. I just want to get this straight, because the city's end is basically going to get $250,000 less And that's what we have to deal with. I think the school department's going to get $400-something thousand.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. I'm sorry,
Well, I'm just
Counselor.
saying, I'm looking at the city's end of it. I mean,
Right.
it's great that the school department's getting more. We are getting short
Right.
this year compared to last year. I just want, perception out there to be known that we have a difficult budget to go through and, make up that $250,000. So it's not, when you say 200,000, I give you credit for getting the school department's money and even keeping us at 250, because it could have been worse.
Right.
I agree. But I just wanted to make that known because I've been closely watching the state budget, and I know you and the Speaker and Senator Petroselli's always looking out to the city of Revere, and thank God you are, because we could be worse off than the city's end being 250. I mean, I know that, and everybody else knows that. The thing with the, I'm not, something, I'm going to leave that for another day. It's nothing to do with the budget, so I'll leave it for another day. I'll probably call your office. Thank you, Mr. President. That's all I'll have tonight.
Thank you, Counselor. It is, so, there is a difference, obviously, and this is something that we've communicated to the Chair Ways and Means, because we understand there's a big difference with education funding versus city and town funding. I mean, we do have an increase of $200,000. It's better than having a decrease. I mean, since 9/11, it's been very hard to get us back to those pre-funding in the economy. So, we're getting there slowly but surely. And then, again, making sure we retain the other things like, our racing tax money and, that we give the communities local option to do things like meals and entertainment tax and things like that. We're trying to use a bunch of different tools in the toolbox to try to give you guys the opportunity to get other ways and get creative about how you can raise revenue as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Powers.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank you, first of all, Representative, for coming here this evening and giving us the information you did and listening to our concerns. I'd just like to bring out one point, and perhaps it's something you could take back with you to the leadership. As you know, there are many, many parking lots in the MBTA system. And I speak primarily about the ones in Revere, one in Beachmont and one down at Wonderland. There are thousands of cars parking there every day. And I've suggested, when I first got elected, that perhaps a surcharge for people using that parking lot, particularly the people that come from out of town. As you well know, the 1A corridor is very impacted. I know the response from the MBTA management back then was it would be a deterrent to ridership. I don't think that's the case. I think that they've increased the rates down there 3 or 4 times at Wonderland over the past 12 years. I think that it being a deterrent is not factual, because anyone coming from Lynn, Swampscott, Marblehead, or anywhere else in the north that pulls into that lot and all of a sudden it's $5 today or $6, tomorrow, versus driving that vehicle into Boston, paying the tolls, the wear and tear, the gasoline, and spending $25 or $30 or $40 to park in a garage. I feel that, I know I would. I'd just pay the extra $1 and put my car there and be very grateful it wasn't $5. So I think that just that alone would probably bring into the city of Revere probably $1.5 million a year, just a $1 surcharge. So I think that's something that I would ask you if you would keep that in mind, relay that to the leadership. And I think the legislature, where there are so many parking lots in other communities that are represented by the House and the Senate, that perhaps that's something that they might look at to bring more revenue into their communities also. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
I just have a question. So would it be a surcharge from the entity, from the MBTA, or would it be brought to their vendor? Like, I'm just curious as to what your thoughts are.
Their vendor.
Okay.
Because, as you well know, that a lot of those parking lots, or many of them, are leased out to vendors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this particular city, there's acres and acres of parking that's used by those parking lots that is ultimately, as a result of the parking lots, taken off our commercial tax rate. So I just think it's something that maybe should be looked at. Thank you.
Definitely will look into it. Thank you, Counselor.
Councilor Zambudo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Leader Reinstein, for your presentation here tonight. Appreciate it. I'll say pretty much the same thing I said to Senator Petroselli when he was here. I heard a lot of help for needy. I didn't hear very much for the middle class, tax-paying, working citizen. I'd like to hear more of that. Now, I know you and I do not agree on several issues. However, I do want to say I'm a CAPIC board member for almost 14 years. And Leader Reinstein has been a tireless advocate for CAPIC. And on behalf of the executive director and everybody at CAPIC, and more importantly, those needy people we talked about, I want to thank you for your efforts because you have delivered for CAPIC. One other little tidbit I'll throw in about EBT cards. You said you passed photos, and that's good. I hope it passes. It's in the legislation. The one word I would say is eliminate the cash. The cash. Because if they can get cash, they can buy booze, they can buy drugs, they can buy lottery tickets. You can't control anything if they have access to cash. If they need cash for rent subsidies or whatever, it can be sent electronically to the entities. There's got to be reform on the cash. When we were kids, people used to go for butter, milk, flour, peanut butter. That's how they got assistance. This is completely out of control, and to be allowed to get cash, the taxpayers' cash, and do whatever you want with it is absolutely wrong, and we need some help in that instance. I thank you again for your presentation and all your information.
Thank you, Counselor. I'll address the second thing first. So when we were on the cashless I was on the EBT cashless commission that was tasked, and we had 9 different options that we looked at. We looked at a totally cashless system. We looked at a cashless system plus UPC blocking. So when you go to the supermarket, based on the UPC codes. We looked at only $100 in cash per month, and the rest is cashless. We looked at blocking select ATMs. We looked at blocking select ATMs and purchase of sale devices. We looked at no cash to high-risk clients. We looked at more enforcement and education on the existing laws. So it was unanimous, it was bipartisan that the cashless system plus UPC level was rejected, and it's an incredible amount of money to do some of the blocking. What we found and what we heard from people was there are certain things that people cannot pay with their credit card. If you need a babysitter, if you need to take someone to the hospital in an emergency, you might have to call a cab. I don't know the history of why any of this came to be and why we ever allowed cash in the first place. I can't speak to that, but there were those significant things. Just so you know, there was 100 in cash per month that someone said, and identifying, but still, the reality is it's next to impossible to find out where some of this money is going. The other reality is there's no data that says that there's more abuse than there isn't. There's also no data that says there isn't more abuse than there isn't. I know that sounds incredibly cryptic, but just so you know, again, we have a system of over 800,000 people receiving some kind of benefit. A lot of it is still mandated and controlled by federal regulations. So there's certain data that the state cannot compile. So when we were looking at, we want to get this data, that data, like by federal standards, we were not allowed to do that. So even like with, if someone loses their EBT card, which, we're all outraged that someone would lose their EBT card 25 times. That's like any of us losing our debit card. It's insanity, right? You don't lose your credit card 25 times. But by federal law, you're only allowed to charge $5 we can't go higher because, our thought was, hey, let's crank that up then. If you keep losing your card, your money goes up every time you lose it. And obviously you should be identified immediately as an at-risk person. So, just so the House has been really forward-thinking on this. There's been 2 commissions on this. Like I said, the second one was a cashless commission. But, it's still a fluid. There's still going to be a lot of discussion on it. But we have to realize, too, that there is a majority of people that actually need these benefits and are using them the correct way. And like I said, a system of over 800,000 people, again, we could make this cashless. We can do all of it, and someone is still going to abuse it. That doesn't make it right. And I'm sure I'll get some calls about what I'm saying here tomorrow in my office. But we're all aware of it. None of us want to see the fraud happen. We're all disgusted by it. And I'm really disgusted by the people that need the services. I thank you for your kind words about CAPIC. And to answer the first question now, it's interesting. We do a lot for the middle class, but what I've found in the past few years since the economy has gone south, people that you and I would all consider our equals are the people that have called for assistance, who have had trouble with their mortgage or have had loan mortifications, very educated people who have had a hard time negotiating with their banks. And we have worked a lot with Congressman Markey's office, Congressman Capuano's office, then Senator Kennedy's office, and now Senator Warren's office, and Senator Kerry, I think Kerry and Kennedy, on helping people to talk to their banks. And these are the same people that were the middle class, that are just a paycheck away of being someone who needs some of this assistance. We have people in very nice houses in Revere, calling us for oil assistance. I'm sure they're calling all of you. So, middle class and people who are in need most of the time in a community like this are actually the same people. So I don't like to discriminate between the two of them. The programs that we fund for funding, these are significant. The substance abuse things, that does not discriminate. Neither does domestic violence or sexual assault or anything like that. So these are some of the things that, we work on that really, goes across the board for that.
If I just want one quick follow-up. The bottom line is, if you're earning $75,000 as a middle-class person today, someone that's on the full boat of assistance is better off than you. Someone that gets housing, EBT, all the SNAP, all the 7 or 12 or 14 programs, and believe me, they know how to work the system. They're better off than the working stiff that's making $75,000, because after taxes, he can't afford, like you say, he's a paycheck away from losing his house. And so there's a big discrepancy. I'm not trying to discriminate, because I wouldn't serve 14 years on CAPIC's board if I was against people in need. But I am also worried about people that are struggling to make it as a hard-working individual and don't ask for anything, but they're having trouble paying their water bill and their taxes and having trouble just getting by. So that's all. I'm not trying to put one against the other.
And respectfully, and then I know everyone wants to move on, but respectfully, like I said on the floor of the House when I debated on this, I don't believe that there's one person alive who wakes up one day and says, you know what, today is the day I'm going to go on food stamps.
No, except the one that's selling the EBT cards. Yeah.
And who's making a lot of money. And again, a system of 800,000 people.
Yeah.
With
It's not an argument
1,100.
that's going to work with me.
And
Thank you very much.
we need to deal in facts and not rhetoric, and that's what we need to do as we go forward.
Dealing in facts that the media's
Well, I've just
a dollar.
provided you
Counselor,
if I may, I provided you the facts,
Thank-
Counselor. If you want,
Council,
you can even
please,
email
we don't
them
want
to
to
you
get
as
into a
well.
cross discussion here the rest of
No,
the
that's
night.
it.
Thank
I'm
you
done.
on this.
Thank you for your time.
Councilor Patch.
Thank you, Mr. President. I know I'll try to keep this brief. I just said, the mayor and his staff has been put under a lot of pressure getting his budget together, and he's taking a little heat because, of course, a lot of his budget depends on what you do with the House and what the Senate does. And I try to follow with the House and Senate. Now, I know that I like your package much better.
I do too. Thank you.
Than the Senate. We're both, as taxpayers, we're going to get killed either way. But anyways, I know that you say they're meeting and trying to get together
Yes.
on one final package. Do you have any idea to help, because the mayor...
The timing.
The timing of, I mean, we're getting awful close to July 1st here.
Sure. I mean, the hope is that things can be reconciled by the last week in June, and we can be taking it up, we could be taking up the conference committee report to then put on Governor Patrick's desk. It's not a guarantee that that's going to happen, because sometimes you'll have a sticking point. You might have, for example, we have the EBT reforms in our budget and they don't have it in theirs. It's rare that you do, like, legislative priorities in a budget are kind of frowned upon. So we were able to do that, and the Senate was able to do some of the ethanol legislation that we did language that was different, but the language that seems more popular for everyone is what's in the Senate. So there's always discrepancies. And then on top of it all, there's a revenue difference, and there's a major revenue difference in the transportation bond bill that's going to affect everything, because a lot of that's in that as well. So it's going to be trying to find a number, and what that comes down to, as you guys know, is vote counting. So, when we took up our budget and we looked at revenue, we went with a $500 million increase because there was no appetite to go higher in our members. We didn't have the votes to go higher. The Senate was around, I think, 800 or 750. It's a significant difference. So obviously there's going to be some reconciliation in the middle, but it's, again, now going back to our colleagues, like the mayor has to do to all of you, and sell our package to them. So it's a lot of reconciliation, and then we hear from a lot of my colleagues too, because their town meetings are either happening now or have happened already. So you have to kind of baseline it. So what we usually do is, we usually say, like, look at the lower figure and estimate from there. But we just don't. I mean, as a safeguard, that's what you do. But we can hope that it's probably going to be somewhere in the middle. I mean, we hope that it's going to be done. I know the conference committee on our side, they've done this for a really long time. They're very professional, and I know that they're trying their best to get it done for the communities. It doesn't mean that it's going to be done. I mean, my first 15 years ago, my first budget ended in November, and we did supplemental budgets through the whole thing. And that was brutal, being a brand new state rep, watching till November to be your budget done. So, I mean, the Speaker DeLeo shows incredible leadership, as we all know, to make sure that these things are done, because he knows there has to be accountability to all of you and to the mayors and town managers. So I hope that answers the question. I'm not giving you a definite answer.
No, I know, but Kathy, I know you'll get the whip out and get them moving. Thank you. Thank you for all your work over there.
Thank you very much, Councilor.
Councilor Reardon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll try to be as brief as possible. Kathy Ann, thank you so much for coming. You're always so solicitous of our feelings and thoughts on these matters, and you're up here whenever we need you.
Thank you.
It needs to be said. I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, but it does need to be said.
I appreciate that.
What I have is not necessarily directly budget related, but because we have so many people who work at Suffolk Downs, and we're contemplating an agreement with Suffolk Downs, hopefully that will be coming soon. I've recently become aware, as we all have, about this situation with the DOR and the takeout over there. They're apparently, the DOR has interpreted the gaming statute as allowing a significantly higher takeout for Massachusetts withholding than, well, there wasn't any before it. I'm wondering if there are any musings at the State House to perhaps address that issue with an amendment.
We've asked for clarifications that we haven't gotten yet, just so you know. But I don't have an answer. As soon as we get communication, I'll make sure it's sent to all of you. But again, because everything's changed. We used to have a racing commission. It's now all moved. Then it moved from the racing commission somewhere else. And now it's moved into the gaming commission. And there's so much in flux. To go kind of on a side note, I mean, really, Mayor Rizzo and John Festa are doing God's work right now, trying to negotiate with everyone to get what's done and what's done right for this community. And I'm going to say this, and I've said it publicly before, and I hope that the Journal quotes it and puts me in the Everett paper too when I say, it's not who does it first, it's who does it best, and that's going to be our community, because they have they have the thoughts and the mind of everything and what's really important, and especially in the long run. So, again, it's not about who does it first, it's about who does it best. And my money, to put a gambling phrase, is on these guys for sure, and all of you. So, but I'll work on that. I have to admit, I don't have a ton of information on that, but I'll get it from you.
It's only recently come up. I mean, it was always sitting there, but it was like one of those time bombs that no one knew was going to happen.
Well, you know what? We have nothing if we don't have drama on a consistent basis, right, on the local, state, and federal level. So it's, just when you think it's really quiet, okay, now I'm really worried because there's going to be just another grenade just thrown in. Yeah. We'll look into that for you, Counselor.
Well, Madam Leader, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Accepting my invitation. We're glad we could hear your kind words. Not all of them were great words, but they were kind words.
I'm nothing if not bluntly, painfully honest. So,
and as you always are, and we really do appreciate it, believe it or not.
Thank you.
So with that, we thank you for your kindness, and we wish you good luck in the rest of the budget and the rest of your career.
Thank you, and thank all of you very much for your very hard work. I know you're working on your budget too, and as a voter and taxpayer in Revere, I appreciate all of your efforts as well. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, ma'am.